My 8-year-old daughter was on life support after a car accident when my mom texted, "Bring cupcakes for your niece's school party tomorrow." I replied, "I can't, I'm in the hospital with my daughter who's fighting for her life." She coldly replied, "You always ruin everything with your selfish drama." Sister added, "Stop being so dramatic, kids get hurt all the time." Dad texted, "Your niece's party is more important than your attention seeking." I froze in disbelief at their cruelty. Then the doctor came in and said, "Your mom." My name is Elena, and I'm a single mom to the most amazing 8-year-old girl you could ever meet. Kaya has been my world since her father walked out when she was 2. We've built a beautiful life together, just the two of us, in our little apartment across town from my family. I work as a nurse at the local hospital, which became incredibly important later in this story. My family has always been complicated. My mom, Monica, has this way of making everything about herself. My sister Nadine is her golden child, married to a lawyer, living in a McMansion, with 2 kids who can apparently do no wrong. She is Erica, who's 8, and her younger son, Noel, who's 5. My dad, Franklin, just goes along with whatever keeps the peace. I've always been the black sheep, the one who causes drama by having opinions or, God forbid, needs. It was a Tuesday afternoon in March when my world shattered. I was at work, finishing up my shift in the pediatric ward, when my phone rang. Kaya's school. The principal's voice was shaking as she told me there had been an accident. A drunk driver had run a red light and slammed into the school bus. Several children were injured. Kaya was being airlifted to the trauma center. I don't remember the drive to the hospital. I don't remember parking or running through the emergency department doors. What I remember is Dr. Rona Ellis's face when he found me in the waiting room. Kaya had suffered severe head trauma, internal bleeding, and multiple fractures. She was in surgery, fighting for her life. The next 18 hours were a blur of waiting rooms, surgical updates, and prayers to any deity who might be listening. When they finally let me see her, my beautiful, vibrant daughter looked so small in that hospital bed, surrounded by machines keeping her alive. She was on life support, in a medically induced coma, and the doctors couldn't tell me if she'd wake up. I called my mom that first night, sobbing into the phone, begging her to come. "I can't do this alone," I whispered. "Kaya might not make it." "Oh, Lena," she sighed, and I could practically hear her eye roll. "You're always so dramatic. Kids are resilient. She'll be fine. I can't just drop everything and drive 3 hours because you're panicking." That should have been my first warning. I spent the next 3 days living in that hospital room. The nurses, my colleagues, brought me coffee and sandwiches. They set up a cot so I could sleep next to Kaya's bed. I held her hand and read her favorite books aloud, hoping she could hear me. The doctors were cautiously optimistic but honest about the long road ahead. It was Friday afternoon when the text started. "Mom, Elena, don't forget to bring cupcakes for Erica's school party tomorrow. The ones with the pink frosting she likes." I stared at my phone in disbelief. Erica is Nadine's daughter, my 8-year-old niece. I couldn't believe my mom was texting me about cupcakes while Kaya was fighting for her life. Me, I can't, I'm in the hospital with my daughter who's fighting for her life. The response came back faster than I expected. "Mom, you always ruin everything with your selfish drama." I actually gasped out loud. The nurse checking Kaya's vitals asked if I was okay. I wasn't. I was the furthest thing from okay a person could be. Then Nadine chimed in. "Nadine, stop being so dramatic, kids get hurt all the time. Erica's been looking forward to this party for weeks. Don't disappoint her because you want attention." I felt physically sick. These were the people who were supposed to love and support me unconditionally. My hands were shaking as I typed back. "Me, Kaya is on life support. She might die. How can you call this drama? Dad, your niece's party is more important than your attention seeking. You've always been jealous of Nadine's family. Stop using your daughter to get sympathy." I froze in disbelief at their cruelty. My own father had just accused me of using my dying daughter for attention. I was staring at my phone, tears streaming down my face, when Dr. Rowan Ellis walked into the room. "Elena," he said gently, "I have some news about your mom." My heart stopped. Had something happened to Monica? Despite everything, she was still my mother. "We ran Kaya's blood work again, and there's something you need to know. Your mother called the hospital this morning, claiming to be Kaya's grandmother. She tried to get information about Kaya's condition and..." He paused, looking uncomfortable. "She also asked about Kaya's inheritance situation. Specifically, if there was a life insurance policy and who would be the beneficiary if Kaya didn't survive." The blood drained from my face. "What?" "She told our social worker that she was concerned about the financial burden Kaya's care might place on you and wanted to know about end-of-life options." "Elena, I have to ask, did you discuss discontinuing Kaya's care with your mother?" "No." I nearly shouted. Never. I would never, she's my baby. Dr. Rowan Ellis nodded quickly. I didn't think so. Your dedication to Kaya has been redeniable. But I needed to ask because your mother was quite insistent. She seemed to know a lot about your financial situation and kept mentioning how expensive Kaya's care would be. The pieces started falling into place. My mom had always been obsessed with money. She knew I had a small life insurance policy for Kaya. I'd mentioned it years ago when I first got the job at the hospital. She also knew I'd been struggling since Kaya's father stopped paying child support. Doctor, I said slowly, what exactly did my mother say? He looked uncomfortable. She asked multiple questions about brain death protocols, how long we typically keep patients on life support, and what the process was for. Making difficult decisions. She also asked about organ donation and if there were any financial benefits. I felt like I was going to vomit. My mother had called the hospital where I worked, where my colleagues knew me, and essentially asked about killing my daughter for money. That's when I decided to get revenge. I screenshot every single cruel text message. Then I did something that would have been unthinkable a week earlier. I started documenting everything. Every conversation, every phone call, every interaction with my family. The next morning, Nadine called. Elena, about those cupcakes. Nadine, I interrupted, I need to tell you something. Mom called the hospital yesterday. Oh good, finally showing some support? She asked about ending Kaya's life support and if there was life insurance money involved. The silence stretched for so long I thought she'd hung up. That's ridiculous, Nadine finally stammered. Mom wouldn't. I can have Dr. Rowan Ellis call you if you'd like to verify.